I don't think most people really understand and appreciate the importance of working on their posterior spine every day. Hi, I'm Dr. Vinod Somareddy, and today we're going to go over the posterior spine in relation to your lower back, mid-back, and a little bit more of your neck area. So the thing about this is that the posterior spine is the back of your spine, which is essentially the back of your body. It sounds kind of silly, but people oftentimes relate, and we talked about in other videos, the spine in relation to your core, which would be considered the front or the anterior aspect. But there's a whole side of your back, and these exercises and these muscles are very important in keeping you upright. And when these muscles get weak or spasm from injury, they tend to be very limited in its ability, and people tend to forget that when a muscle is in pain and spasm, it doesn't work right. So just imagine a muscle having spasm or pain in it and contracting. It's like having a rubber band that has a lot of gum on it. It doesn't move fluidly and smoothly. So what you want to do is you want to start to look at how do you prevent these problems from coming up in the future. And a lot of times people don't understand that you can prevent a lower spine, a mid spine, or an upper spine issue by simply doing some basic exercises every day. It's something you can do on the table, in your bed, on the floor, and create a good situation for your entire spine. The spine itself does fundamentally a number of movements. It goes forward and back, side to side, and it rotates. And the way to work on it is you have to work on all aspects of it. Now, in other videos, I talked about forward movement, like flexion it's called, and that flexion works on your core. But the same thing happens in your back. The back actually goes into extension, which is going backwards. And as you go back into the spine, you work on the muscles in the back of the spine that focus on keeping your body and your spine in extension, which is pulling it back. Just think of a bridge, like any bridge. You have the suspension cords holding it up. If those suspension cords are really strong and holding the bridge up, the bridge has flexibility. And that's what you want to achieve by working on your posterior spine. So the first exercise I'm going to show you is what we call the Superman exercise, where you're laying on your stomach and you have your arms and your legs positioned in a way that looks like Superman, right? Flying in the air, and he's got a position where he's got to lay straight and he's got to have his arms and legs extended out. And there's a sequence in working on the Supermans that starts from a very basic, simple movements of arms and legs, but together in a coordinated way, but more importantly, they cause a co-contraction of the spinal muscle on both sides. So as you start working on the Supermans, you get your whole spine to contract on both sides of it, and you get ultimately a fundamental secure spine in the position laying down. Now, how does that translate to when you stand up? Well, we don't always necessarily know how it translates to how it stands up, but it's a very good exercise to strengthen because you have gravity resisting you when you raise your arm up and your legs up in the air, and that provides some resistance. So there's ways of increasing resistance with this exercise by adding weights to your arms and to your legs. But if you didn't even have that, you have gravity limiting your range of motion. So let me go ahead and show you the exercise. I'm going to demonstrate it very simply and its variations so you can see how it works, and we'll go from there. Basically, as you're laying down here in your spine, you can start off in this position like this. This is your Superman position. And the idea is you could try to either do two variations of this. Actually, there are three variations. The first two I'll explain to you pretty simply. It's raising one arm up and one leg up. You can do it either on one side, or you can do one arm up and the opposite leg up on the other side. Same thing goes for this arm and this side. And you can do the opposite side. The other variation of this is raising arms up and legs down, or just raising legs up and down. So the Superman exercise is a very important exercise to creating stability in that prone or on your stomach position. It can be done very simply at all times throughout the course of the day, and it can be done in reps of 3 sets of 10 or less, or a little bit more. But generally you want to try to do the variations of those exercises. There's nothing really that would say that one movement over the other is harder or less harder than the other, but they are a good sequence to work with and play around. You could do one set, just if you want to do one arm and the opposite leg, or that other way, or the same side. You could do a combination of those, but make sure you keep it to a combination of equal amounts. And that's the Superman exercise. I'm Dr. Vinod, and thank you for watching this video. If you like the content, please hit the like button, subscribe, and the notification buttons for further content. I'll see you next time.